What's up, everyone? Still trying to get used to this layout for the live stream. Welcome, everyone, to the 146th edition of the Sports Reality. My name is Jeremy John, a.k.a. the fourth greatest Grenadian of all time. I have to drop the sound effect every single time because you know it's true when you hear this.
Perfect.
It's your boy, Jeremy John, a.k.a. the Lil Wayne of podcasts.
Perfect.
Because I will be on any podcast and hit it with the J Train. Let's introduce my co-host for this week's show, BigThad. What's going on?
What up, folks? What's going on?
Doing all right, man. How's everything with you?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain. Another new week. Some exciting news as always. But I'm good this week, man.
That's what's up. I want to thank everyone who's given us praise for this podcast. I want to thank everyone who's given us constructive criticism. This is only the fourth live stream that we've done, and we're still trying to work out the kinks. As you can see, how we entered into the show. Still forgot what key I was using. And where the audio was coming from. But hey, still getting used to it. Man, it's been a wild week in sports. A wild week. We've got a lot to get into. Tiger Woods is in the news for some unfortunate news. We'll get into that. We'll also get into the NBA. All-Star starters and reserves have been announced. We'll get into that. Also, coaching fires and hires overnight in Minnesota. Wow. Some players who are on the waiver wire coming up soon. And we'll also get to talk about your favorite basketball player, Draymond Green.
Perfect.
Again?
Yes, that's your favorite player, right?
You are fake news.
Right? Thank you, Donald Trump. Thank you, sir.
There's some NFL news also. Big trade in the NFL. We kind of discussed it last week, and it actually happened. So we'll get into that. We'll also get into our sports free zone where we'll talk about Meek Mill and what's going on with him, among other things outside of sports. We'll also then get into our Black history in sports. We will talk about some prominent college coaches, black college coaches. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Just want to remind you all to subscribe to the podcast where podcasts are available. And that includes Apple, Anchor, Spotify, Stitcher. Let me bring up the brand. I can't remember everything that we're on. iHeartRadio, tune in, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. We're on all of that right now. If you're listening right now, drop a comment. Let us know that you're watching. We'll give you a shout out. Also, chime in with whatever we're talking about. If you have any opinions about whatever we're talking about, chime in and let us know. We greatly appreciate it. Let's now get into the Tiger Woods news. Tiger Woods was in a one car accident yesterday in California. Serious leg injuries, they said so far. He went into surgery. It looks like the surgeries were successful, but he was on pace to return to golf. He wanted to at least be ready for the Masters, which was going to be in a little over a month.
Right.
And he was at the Genesis Invitational out in California. It's his tournament, but he was there, not playing, but he was there hosting it. And he was in the booth with Jim Nantz talking about his return and saying that he was looking forward to at least a Masters appearance. And then on Monday, he was golfing with Drew Brees and Dwayne Wade, and he was going to meet, I think, Drew Brees and Justin Herbert on Tuesday when he was heading to the golf course. And unfortunately, he was in that car accident. The car rolled over several times off the road. They had to get the jaws of life to get him out. We mentioned that he had surgery. And initially, when you heard what was going on, what was your thoughts, Thad, when you heard about the Tiger Woods car accident?
I thought he was drunk. To be honest with you, one of the things, you know what I'm saying, like he just didn't know what happened. You know what I'm saying, but you hope that like everything was at least alive. You know, like he was alive, everything was good. Because they weren't really saying much about the accident. They were just like, Tiger Woods was in an accident and showed the wreckage. And, you know, we just lost Kobe. So it's just one of the things, man. It's just like you kind of wondering, like, with history, like hoping that everything, all that stuff wasn't involved. But, you know, it just seems like it wasn't the case, that it was just freak accident. I heard some I think it was ESPN earlier today. They were talking about the road that he went off of. Like, it was easy for that commentator to pick up a lot of speed, you know what I'm saying? So, and that area is like 40, I think it's like 40 or 45 miles per hour. But this commentator was like, yeah, he was just cruising. And next thing you know, he's at 60, 65 miles an hour. He had to pump the brakes. You know what I'm saying? So it's a dangerous area where that accident happened. So we just wish him good luck, of course, you know.
Yeah, man. Unfortunately, that was the first thing that I thought of. I thought it was alcohol or prescription pills were involved somehow.
Right, with his history, you know what I'm saying? And his back injury and all that. You never know.
You know, you mentioned also, I mean, he had the DUI a few years ago. He had the incident with the Escalade in the 5-iron with his ex-wife, right, where alcohol was involved during that time also. The numerous injuries. Also, I did not get a chance to see it, but have you seen the Tiger Woods documentary that I believe Showtime did? No,
I haven't seen it. I heard about it, not like the particulars or anything like that, but I heard he wasn't involved in it, so I was like, it's kind of like Britney.
So yeah, I will get it. I will try and look at it when I have the time to. Side note, I'll talk about it in a sports free zone because it'll fit for that segment. But yeah, man, it looks like it's serious leg injuries. They said they're not being specific about what that is. Is it just broken legs, broken ankles, or any bones in the lower body? Is it ligament damage? Is it nerve damage, tendon damage? We don't know.
They did say, I want to say in the ESPN thing was they were worried about infection and whatnot. And then they brought up the Alex Smith incident with him where, you know, they were worried about infection and all that with stuff being open and his flesh, something, you know, their muscle and flesh being contaminated with, you know, outside stuff. So like, you know, like say this dirt or whatever. So they were worried about that also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Now let's actually get to the golf side. He's not playing in the Masters.
Nope.
For sure, he's not going to probably play in the U.S. Open later this year. Do you think he even returns to golf next year? I'm putting this year as a wash for him. Do you think he returns to golf next year?
You know what? It really depends on his recovery. You know what I'm saying? If his recovery is good, physical therapy good, he'd possibly be back. But it all depends on how bad the injuries are. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they say it's substantial injury, but you don't know, man. It really depends on his recovery more than anything.
Man, it's real unfortunate. So yeah, man, prayers for Tiger Woods.
No doubt.
His family, his close friends. It's going to be a trying time for everyone involved in the Tiger Woods family and Tiger Woods circle. Let's now get to the NBA. talk about the NBA All-Star game. Big Thad, did you see the NBA All-Stars and the NBA All-Star rosters?
No. I knew it was coming up, but I never paid attention. I did hear there was some snubs, as always, but it's just one of them things, man. You know, when the fans are involved, it's a problem. But then, you know, the reserves, it's just one of them things where you're kind of like, what? What are you doing? Like, yeah, it's crazy.
So here we go. Here's the All-Star starters. Let's start with the East. We have Kevin Durant, which will be the captain. Now, we're not obviously having East and West. They're going to pick the teams later, but Kevin Durant was the leading vote getter in the East. They then have Giannis Antetokounmpo, Bradley Beal, Joel Embiid, and Kyrie Irving. Are you cool with that starting lineup from the East?
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
I actually voted for all of those guys except Kyrie Irving. I did have Trae Young as that's who I had for the East starter. But 4 out of 5, that's pretty close. Pretty good prediction. Let's now get to the West. We have LeBron James, who was the leading vote getter in the West, and the West All-Stars that will accompany him in the starting lineup: Stephen Curry, Luka Doncic, Nikola Jokic, and Kawhi Leonard. You cool with the Western starters?
I'm actually surprised that Luka is a starter. You know what I'm saying? I'm actually surprised about that. Not because of his play, more because of the team. But then again, we got to reiterate, this is the fans. You know what I'm saying? So it's not surprising that he is there, but I would probably put him as a reserve.
I think he's a starter in the West, and it's funny. Last night, did you see that game last night?
No, I didn't see the game, but I did see the shot.
back to back possessions, man. I'm just like, yo, this dude is on fire. Let's now get to the reserves. Start with the Eastern reserves. Jaylen Brown of the Boston Celtics. We have James Harden of the Brooklyn Nets. Zach LaVine of the Chicago Bulls. Julius Randle of the New York Knicks. Ben Simmons of the Philadelphia 76ers. Jason Tatum of the Boston Celtics. Nikola Vucevic of the Orlando Magic. And now let's get to the West reserves. We have Anthony Davis of the Lakers. Paul George of the Clippers. Rudy Gobert of the Utah Jazz. Damian Lillard of the Portland Trail Blazers. Donovan Mitchell of the Utah Jazz. Chris Paul of the Phoenix Suns. And Zion Williamson of the New Orleans Pelicans. Now, and did anyone get snubbed on this off the All-Star team?
Oh, you're right. No, Devin Booker.
Perfect.
He's been killing it
for sure. Team is playing well too.
Right.
And out of that, Chris Paul's on the team. Like, you would think if Chris Paul's on it, then maybe Devin Booker would be on the team also.
Right.
Yeah, that to me, that's just ridiculous. That he is not on an all-star team. Another player, Trae Young, in my opinion, should have been. I mean, right. Atlanta's doing okay. He was an all-star last year when Atlanta was bad. His numbers are, if I remember correctly, very similar or better than last year. So I'm kind of like, why is he not on the all-star team? Which is, it's just real interesting that he did not get it. Now, obviously, as reserves, you have the combination of it's still fans, it's coaches, it's players. And you want to hear an interesting thing about the all-star voting process? The fans, when it comes to forward positions in the East, Gordon Hayward was, I think, like 6th. Among the coaches, he was like 7 or 8.
Okay.
But among the NBA players, he was 15th.
Wow.
Oh man, what do you think? Why do you think that's the case? That NBA players voted him as the 15th best, player in the East.
I think they think he's just not that good.
What do you have this? This was not part of the rundown, but where would you rank? Is okay? Here's a better question: Is Hayward? Sorry, is he He's not elite, but is he in that second or third tier of like forwards in the NBA?
I would put him in the second tier, like towards the bottom of the second tier, I guess. Depending on how many, like how many's first tier. So, like, are you going 5?
Okay, first tier is obviously LeBron, Kawhi, Giannis, Durant. And we're still talking about forwards. AD, sorry. Yeah. AD.
I wasn't sure if you're going to consider him a center.
I mean, whatever.
Because then you got to put Embiid in there too. Yeah. You know what? I put Hayward on the Bertans level.
Oh, Bertans.
Okay, so we'll put it in third tier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if second tier, he's at the bottom of the second tier, he's hovering over to the third. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Oh man. We got at least one, a viewer that's willing to participate on the stream, Open Box Podcast. How you guys doing today? Doing well. Thank you for tuning into the live stream. Subscribe to the podcast where podcasts are available. Obviously, you're watching on YouTube. Subscribe there. We will definitely subscribe to you all and check you all out. The Open Box Podcast. Other NBA news: the Minnesota Timberwolves fired their coach, Flip Saunders' son. What's his first name? I don't even know his first name. I just know he's Flip Saunders.
I didn't even know Flip Saunders had a son.
Yes.
So
Flip Saunders' son.
Well, see, that's what when you said the Timberwolves and you said Flip Saunders, and then you said son, I was like, Flip is still coaching?
No, unfortunately.
But then he passed?
Yes, he passed away.
That's what I thought. Okay, all right.
I said Rick. I don't even know. Let me Google his name. I just know him as Flip Saunders' son. He was coaching the last couple years for the Minnesota Timberwolves. They weren't Ryan. I knew it was an R word. Ryan Saunders.
Okay.
He was fired on Sunday night. Monday, within hours. Chris Finch, who was a assistant coach for Toronto Raptors. They hired him overnight.
What? Hold on. So they took this man from another team?
Yes, another team.
Oh, they had been looking then. They must have been talking, interviewing, and then when they made the decision, it was like, hey, we're doing this. Are you going to come over and take this position?
Yeah, everyone is just assuming that they knew, and they were just waiting for a time to try and get Ryan Saunders out of there. And now they brought this guy in. Now, some NBA players have voiced their frustration with the hiring process that the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're kind of like, and it's sad. I can't remember the coach's name, but the assistant coach that's on the Minnesota Timberwolves has been in the league for a while, worked his way up. And the assumption was, if you're going to get rid of Ryan Saunders, was okay. You're gonna make him the assistant coach, and they overlooked.
That's what they usually do.
Yeah,
Yeah, at least when it's especially in the middle of the season. You know what I'm saying? So it's coming up on All Star. So midweek, well, the midpoint of the season. You would think that they would have did it then. You know, fired him, moved up the assistant, and then had the coaching search for the next season.
Yeah, but they decided forget this. We're about to just get this guy from from the Timberwolves. Now, Chris Finch and Gerson Rosas, the general manager for the Minnesota Timberwolves, have a relationship, a friendship, a working relationship together that they had in Houston. So there's some familiarity. There's some comfortability there. So we understand that. It's just the issue comes where it's kind of like, some guys are working really hard and it's just like, all right, I'm gonna go hire my friend. You're thinking you're gonna be the next person up for this, and then it's let me go hire my friend. So.
But then it's kind of like, so they hired this coach overnight. Does this coach have a coaching staff? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know, there's this assistant staff there, but does he want to work with these guys? You know what I'm saying? Do you keep him?
He's going to have to work with them for at least this season. I mean, I don't think you fire or let go of people on your staff and then bring in a staff because of guys who are from other teams. So
right.
It's real messy. Now, the positive thing with the Minnesota Timberwolves this weekend, did you see that dunk that Anthony Edwards had on the Raptors?
That was ridiculous. Who was the player that he dunked on?
I don't even know the dude's name. He's Japanese, plays for the Raptors. I never seen the dude until he got dunked on. Anthony Edwards went up, banged on him, and just kind of like, it was so bad that he fell on top of him. Like,
right. It was like he didn't even try to help us fall. He just said, you're under me. I'll just land
on you. Other news in the NBA, Kristaps Porzingis, rumors of him being traded already from the team.
That's crazy.
Why is it that these rumors already coming up with Kristaps?
It's got to be his contract. It's got to be. And I know he's been injured a bit too, but Dallas is his best situation that he's had since he came into the NBA. So I think that's a worse. Well, it's a bad move. If you trade him, that's just a bad move. He's perfect with Luka.
I think it probably does have something to do with his contract. Unfortunately, with that contract, I don't have the particulars here, but it's the problem is he's a great number 3 on a team, on a championship team.
Right.
And he's an okay number 2. And I feel like maybe Dallas is like, look, we got to get more pieces in here. And the easiest way to get more pieces is to get rid of Kristaps Porzingis. Now, what team do you think he'll be a good fit on?
Wizards.
We'll talk about the Wizards coming up, but
I think that'd be his best situation.
I'm gonna give a shout out when that time. Actually, since we're talking about Kristaps, we'll at least talk about him in this sense, and then we'll get back to the Wizards specifically. Shout out to my man, and we got some agreement from the live stream. I agree, Wizards all the way. That's what Open Box Podcast has said. The Wizards all the way. My friend Gerard Graham, he threw a trade. He asked, he was like, should we make a trade for him? And he had one out there. Said Davis Bertans, Rui Hachimura, a top 3 protected first round pick for Kristaps Porzingis. What do you think about that?
Where are we getting this top 3 protected pick from?
Well, it would have to be a pick. So it would have to be next year's pick, I believe.
Is it next year's? Because when
I mean the following year, because next year's pick is the wall pick.
Right.
Now, I know you can't do consecutive years, but I think you can't do consecutive years in the same trade. I believe you could then trade the next one to somebody else. I believe.
Right.
Do you do that if you're the Wizards general manager?
Rui Bertans. I would say yeah. You're getting 2 players for one guy, and those 2 players kind of match him. You know what I'm saying? He's kind of those 2 players in one. You know.
I'm just kind of like,
you almost giving up too much too.
I'm just not sold on Kristaps. That's all it is. I'm just not sold on him. And I was just like, but we got the 2 players already, Beal and Westbrook, and he could be the third. I don't know, man. I feel like Rui can be the future. And maybe that's me because I've been wanting Rui Hachimura to be on the Wizards team way before he even got drafted by the Wizards.
Right.
So I was talking about him since after his sophomore year in college. So maybe that's why I have, sentimental reasons for wanting to keep him. But, I don't know. Kristaps, he's a little too injured for me.
Yeah, gotcha.
And the Wizards can't be dealing with injuries right now, especially when you have Russell Westbrook, who is feeling better, but, can be iffy at times. Thomas Bryant is already out for the year. So
you got Lopez, man. You got Lopez and Alex Len.
Jeez. We'll talk about the Wizards a little bit later. DeMarcus Cousins was waived. Did you see that?
From the Rockets?
Yes.
No, I didn't know that.
Yes, he was waived. They thought they could get a trade for him, and now, he is going to be a free agent pretty soon. What team do you think he should go to?
You know where he's going?
Where?
Lakers.
To me, it makes sense because he was on the team until he got injured last year. And then the rumors of domestic violence, it wasn't even domestic violence, it was just assault against a woman that ended up, it looks like nothing ever came out of it. It was just a rumor. That's what it looks like. We don't know. The story just went away. We have no idea. But I think he's going to go there, especially with Anthony Davis down for at least, 4 weeks at least.
Right.
And Marc Gasol's old.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the less minutes he's playing, it might actually be the best for the Los Angeles Lakers.
The funny thing with me is his contract isn't big. So I'm kind of like, I never thought they would have even thought about trading him. He doesn't have a big contract. Did he sign a regular contract or did he just sign like a 1-year thing with Houston?
I would have to check that out because I can't remember the details. I just remember the contract he did have with the Lakers was not big.
Nah, that was a 1-year thing.
Yeah. And isn't that crazy? He was offered a 2-year extension worth $40 million and he turned it down to go to the Warriors for 1 year, $5 million. Remember, he then gets hurt very quickly.
Right.
And then, they don't win the finals while he's there.
You know what? He was doing the LeBron thing, the LeBron contract thing. The 2-year contract with one that opts out. And I think he did that because he thought he was going to have a great season and then get this big contract again. Mm-hmm. And then he gets injured. So that's it.
That's real unfortunate. Real Real unfortunate. Other news in the NBA, Draymond Green. Your boy, Draymond Green, BigThad. He was assessed a technical foul.
That was hilarious.
For arguing with the referee. Now, mind you, the referee's made a bad call. Bad call. They called jump ball in a situation where Hayward actually traveled. Fell to the ground by himself with the basketball. They end up tying it up. They supposed to say jump ball. They awarded the timeout to the Hornets. Draymond Green gets upset. He's arguing, cussing, gets assessed a technical foul. It's his second technical foul. It's with seconds left in the game. It's a tie game. So now the Hornets just have to hit the free throws, and that ended up winning the game. Now, Draymond Green, spoke about it after the game, but there was an interesting clip on NBA radio. Jump shot Eddie Jump Shot Johnson, Jump Shot 8. You know Eddie Johnson? Used to play with the Rockets and the Suns.
Jump Shot Eddie. Come on, man. Get out my face.
What?
Jump Shot Eddie. Whatever.
What, you're saying he wasn't good in the NBA?
No.
Eddie Johnson wasn't good in the NBA?
No.
Oh, jeez.
No.
Well, Eddie Johnson...
He wasn't no Robert Horry. You know what I'm saying? Come on.
He might be better than Robert Horry as a player.
Oh, come on. Whatever. Big Shot Bob?
That's
Big Shot Bob.
Yeah, that's Big Shot Bob. But if we talking about being just a basketball player that has to play, 48 minutes in a game,
Didn't he play for the Lakers too?
Who, Eddie Johnson?
Yeah. Or is that another
I don't think
Eddie
so.
I'm thinking of?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But yeah, Eddie Johnson had the most points coming off the bench. And that just got broken by Lou Williams. Just got broken by Lou Williams. Also, Eddie Johnson has the most points ever of a player not in the Hall of Fame. And I believe eventually he'll get in. Just because, people are going to go back and say, oh, yeah, look how. But anyways, Eddie Johnson had some interesting words to say about Draymond Green. Take a listen to this.
Here's the case in point. I'm not going to say his name because he knows me, but the guy was a good-looking guy, but he was dorky. He wore glasses. He didn't have to. He should have got contact lenses, didn't comb his hair. But, you could tell he's a nice-looking guy.
He has no hair.
And he joined a frat, and all of a sudden he combed his hair, he took his glasses off, and the women was all over him. Okay? That's Draymond. Draymond needs to understand that he's not as good as he is with his mouth up there. In talent to where Steve Kerr is going to continue to deal with this. He's got to understand it. You're talking about a guy in 26 games since January the 1st has only had 3 double-figure scoring games in points. 3. Okay? And 2 rebound double-figure scoring games. That's normally a scrub at the end of the bench. The only thing that saves him is he's allowed to run their offense, and he's averaged 7.4 assists in February. That's it. So you cannot be throwing games. You're not Steph Curry. You're not Klay Thompson. And you're not even Kevin Durant, the guy that you got into and left. Okay? You're Draymond Green. You're the dressing on the salad. That's it. And he's got to understand that. He cannot compromise games. He is not that good. He is not the star. He is not the guy that can curse out the officials and get away with it. Charles Barkley once undressed an official so bad he could have been naked. And the official looked at it and Charles said, you won't throw me out. It's a national game. I dare you. Okay? And he didn't. I mean, he's not him.
Then, the floor is yours.
Yo, that was hilarious. But it's all facts, though. That's Draymond is the triple single, man. Triple single. If y'all are watching this right now, triple single is when you're not, like he said, no double figures in any stat category. He's a triple single dude. You know what I'm saying? Charles Barkley said it best. You know what I'm saying? But he's right. Draymond's not the star. You might be one of the most outspoken people, but you're not the star. Don't nobody care about you, man.
Yeah, man. Draymond Green will obviously going down as a Hall of Fame basketball player when you look at 3 rings, when you also look at him being a defensive player at least one time, I believe 2 times, but at least one time. And his association with one of the greatest teams, the 73-9 teams. Yes, they didn't win, but they still won 73 games. Also, they, won the year prior, then won twice with Kevin Durant. He's going to be known for that. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame, especially with the pattern of how players get into the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame.
Oh, okay. I was about to say. I'm not giving him Hall of Fame vote. Nah.
So he's going to get in. But at the same time, I think we got to be real honest and just be like, look, just like Eddie Johnson said, he's the salad dressing.
Facts. That was hilarious when he said that.
You're not going to eat just salad dressing.
Mm-mm.
But if there's a bowl of lettuce, you can eat a bowl of lettuce if you really need to without salad dressing. It's not the best, but if you really need to, you can still eat it. You can get sustenance from that. You can't get it from salad dressing. And it's very similar to someone that I know, and I know when they hear this, they are going to be bust. They're going to be laughing. They're probably going to text me and say, why did you bring this up? So I'm not going to even say the person's name, but we were playing basketball one time, and my friend, he was playing, and someone else on the court started chirping with him. It was someone that wasn't really good and someone that wasn't really contributing to winning on their basketball team when it comes to pick up basketball. So my friend said, you are creamer. You got to be put in something to be something.
Ooh. Perfect.
Wow.
You got to be put in something to be something.
It's an evil world we live in.
Yeah, the creamer is worse than the salad. You're worse than Draymond.
So, yes, Draymond has had you could say a great career. 3 championships, defensive player of the year, at least once, maybe twice, I can't remember. All defensive teams consistently. But, nah, man, he can't be wilding out like that and expecting his team to win.
I don't think Draymond would be a starter in the NBA if he wasn't with Golden State.
It's very possible. He went to the right situation, and he benefited. But yeah, it could have been totally different. If he was on another team, could have been totally different. Let's now get to the favorite teams of the hosts here, the Washington Wizards.
Ooh.
We're on a 5-game winning streak until last night when they lost to the Clippers. But let's talk about the 5-game winning streak. I mean, we already spoke about the first 3, Celtics, Rockets, or the first 2. Then on Wednesday night, after we recorded last week, they beat the Nuggets. Then on Saturday on the road, defeated the Portland Trailblazers with a very good game by Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook. That might have been Westbrook's best game all year. And then on Monday night, they beat the defending champion Los Angeles Lakers. Yes, the Lakers did not have Anthony Davis or Dennis Schroeder, but still, they had a guy named LeBron James on the team.
Facts.
And the Wizards were down by 17 points in the third quarter. Still found a way to come back and win the game in overtime. And in overtime, Russell Westbrook was the guy who really got things going on. Now, he missed a lot of free throws. A lot of free throws. He's been missing free throws. To me, the key is he's not bending his knees. That's all it is to me.
You saw that air ball?
Yes. He's had 2 in the last week.
And he just looked at it like, huh?
How did that happen? But he played pretty well. Now, last night, look, I was being greedy. I asked for a win against the Clippers. It was back-to-back nights. I'm not shocked that they lost. They lost by almost 20 points. Paul George was on fire. They have Kawhi Leonard. But Serge Ibaka was playing well. Also, who else was playing well on the team for them? Marcus Morris was playing well also. So they lost. Now, they do have one more game before they end this road trip. It's, I believe, against the Nuggets. The Nuggets coming up on Thursday or Friday. They already beat the Nuggets last week. Yes, it's a road game. They'll be playing in the Mile High. So they have to deal with those effects. But I think they can win. Now, I'm happy that they're winning. One of the key reasons they're winning is the rotations have been getting a lot better. So I gotta give credit to Scott Brooks for at least doing that right during this run. The team is playing better defense,
Right.
for sure. Switching better rotations, better man-to-man defense. It seems like these guys are taking it seriously. So they're playing a lot better. Now, obviously, might not be good for my demands of getting Scott Brooks out of here if they keep on winning these games. But hey, hopefully they still, make a move later and get him out of here. Now the Los Angeles Lakers. We mentioned they did lose to the Wizards. The game previous, they lost to the Heat on Saturday, primetime game. LeBron James did not get a lot of touches on the last few possessions. Now, the last possession, Miami did a great job double teaming him and forcing him to pass it to Caruso. And Caruso did not have enough time to give it back to him. Caruso takes the shot. They lose. But there were other possessions where, don't get me wrong, LeBron James got them within the game.
Right.
Kept them in the game. But the last few possessions, it's like they couldn't get him the ball. So I'm not going to even put that on LeBron. I'm putting that on his teammates and his coaching staff for not drawing up plays to actually get him the ball. But yes, so they're on a little skid here. And also Anthony Davis is going to be out for close to 4 weeks. Dennis Schroeder should be returning pretty soon. But do you think this is just the Lakers just need to get healthy and they'll be right back? Or are there some chinks in the armor with the Los Angeles Lakers?
It's just injuries, man. Injuries and time taken away. LeBron's playing crazy. It's just the rest of the team, man. There's nobody. There's really nobody to really step up and take over for somebody like AD. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of the things. LeBron's has had worse teams. You know what I'm saying? Where he's had to make them better. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of them things right now. Injuries is going through the season after having a longer season than everybody else. So it's all good. But did you hear about your boy?
Who?
Quinn?
Oh yeah, he was he released?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, look.
You better leave Quinn.
Look.
Quinn
Y'all
alone.
know my thoughts on Quinn Cook. Those who listen to the podcast. And I remember tweeting you the other night. I can't remember
Quinn
what
got in the
game.
game.
Yeah, Quinn gets in the game. It was the Nets game because they were losing at this point. It was pretty much a blowout. Nets had got them out of there. Mm-hmm. They put Quinn Cook in, and I tweet you. I'm like, yeah, look who's in the game, Quinn Cook. Look, I clown the dude he's not a bad basketball player. I clown him for more of the personal local things with him, but that's neither here or there for this conversation. I never wish him to not be in the league. So obviously when I heard it, I was like, damn, that sucks. Do you think the Wizards should, okay, if we didn't have Raul Neto on this team, I would say for sure, bring him in. But if you're bringing him in, he's just going to sit on the bench anyway here. Because Raul Neto is playing pretty good.
Yeah, he's playing real good.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out who this dude was a couple games ago, and I saw him playing, and he was getting it in, and I was like, "Oh, who's this guy?"
So yeah, so I obviously bringing him here for the Wizards just doesn't. I mean, he's not going to play, so there'll be no point bringing him in. That will wrap it up here for our NBA segment. Let's now get into the NFL. Big trade in the NFL that happened last week. Explain the trade for our listeners.
So Carson Wentz traded to the Indianapolis Colts for a second rounder and a conditional second, which could turn into a first round pick if Carson gets 75% of the snaps of this upcoming season. So, barring injury, that pick would most likely be a first round pick. And I can't remember if it's how they laid the rounders out. If it's like a second round this season and another second round, or is it a second round this season and the following season? I'm not sure. I can't remember that.
Now, wasn't that exactly what we spoke about, last week? Yeah. That it'll probably end up being something like this.
Yeah, we actually thought it was going to be like a first rounder and a third rounder, or the original trade, which was 2 second rounders. But they're coming out saying that this trade pick, the picks for this trade, were the only ones that they did, and that Indianapolis, their guy basically said, Eagles, you have to make a choice. Like, you got a time limit. Like, either trade him or don't. But you got to give us time. We're not going to stick around and wait for it.
Yeah, man. Now, did you hear about the Michael Pittman Jr.?
Oh, yes. He's not giving up his number.
Yeah, not giving up number 11. He said that Carson Wentz asked him, and he said, nah. And then Carson Wentz said, well, yeah, I was kind of thinking about, possibly changing numbers anyway. Do you think Carson Wentz just said that to save face on the phone conversation?
Of course.
Because why would you ask?
Carson literally was in their mind thinking that this dude was like, oh, you're a starting quarterback. Yeah, sure, I'll give you my number. You know what I'm saying? And dude was like, nah, it's not happening.
To me, Carson Wentz, even though he is a Super Bowl champion, he's had a year where he could have been the MVP if it wasn't for that injury. He still hasn't done enough for me to be like, okay, you're coming to the team, I'll give you my jersey. Nah.
Now, mind you, Pittman, he had another number. I think 2 numbers, and then got to this one, and now he's like, nah, I'm keeping this. I don't care who comes in.
Cam Newton in the news. He was on the I Am Athlete podcast, spoke about his time in New England and also the other things like his off the field endeavors, his cigar bar, restaurant, fashion, giving back to the community and stuff like that. Well, over the weekend, a video surfaced of him getting into it with a teenager at a 7-on-7 tournament in South Carolina. Teenager said, quote, "You are ass. You're about to be a free agent." Cam Newton says, well, I'm rich. And the kid is like, yeah, you're about to be broke because you're not about to be on a team. Cam Newton said, look, man, I ain't arguing with a kid. Where your pops at right now? They go back and forth. The clip ends there. Everyone on social media who's into this has their opinion. Now, Cam Newton did on his IG account put a longer exchange where they actually have a civil conversation after all of that. Like, they're talking, and the kid is kind of like, okay, like, you can tell the kid is understands where Cam is coming from. The kid then people find him on IG and on Twitter. They looked at his highlights in high school, and the kid has done nothing in high school. He was at this tournament, but he ain't really a good football player, so people started going after him on that sense.
Right.
He ended up issuing apologies. He's like, look, man, I was acting reckless toward an older person, so I apologize for that. But let's talk about it from the Cam Newton perspective. Did Cam Newton do anything wrong during this exchange with this kid?
Only thing I could say is that he shouldn't. I'm going to say he should have never even really went back with the kid. You know what I'm saying? The back and forth. I mean, who cares? This is a little kid. Like, you're a grown man. You're an NFL professional. Where that kid wants to be, you're already ahead of him. You don't need to drop down to his level.
I would say the only thing that I would say, like, Cam, you could have said something better, was the part where he said, I'm rich.
I'm rich.
He
yeah.
could have just said, he could have just, honestly, I know what he's trying to say. He's basically saying, like you said, I got to this level that you want to get to, and I've made millions, something that everyone wants to do.
Right.
He could have, I just think he could have said, yeah, man, I've been in the NFL MVP. What have you done?
Right.
And that would have been good. Like, look, kids got to stop acting reckless to some people.
Yo, so reckless. Because it was funny. I was listening to a podcast, and they said, they were like, one, that kid must be from Pennsylvania, like Philly area. They call it Cam ass. But then also, they were like, yo, you should have just, like, brushed kid off. Like, who cares? You know what I'm saying? Like, and then the kid, they said that the kid, they found out there was, like, other interviews or whatever. And they asked one of the other players, like, so what is this kid? Like, is he good? Whatever. They were like, he's fast. They were like, no, is he good? Is he, like, great at some things he does? They literally answer, he's fast.
Yeah, man. Look, and look, this is the thing. Where do you ever get the access to be around an MVP caliber player of the sport that you play in, right, being around you? That was the time to get advice. That was the time to get insight. You know,
like, where was the coaches?
That too. I don't have a problem with kids who feel like, look, I'm good. Let's go one-on-one, or let's do this drill and let's see it. But, like, when you out here calling another grown man ass and, like, and expecting him to not, like, respond back, like, come on.
Yo, could you imagine if that was Pac-Man Jones?
Pac-Man Jones would have fought the kid, probably.
Right.
Like, he would have fought the kid. You know, talking about Pac-Man Jones, he just had, like, a bar fight, like, a week and a half or 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, man. It's kind of like, did you ever hear the story about O.J. Mayo and Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
And it's like that. Like, Michael Jordan just was like, look, you're not going to be talking to me any which way.
Right. Come on, let's play.
He said, let's play.
Never scored again.
And where's O.J. Mayo right now? Yes, I understand he made it to the league. And he had a decent rookie year, but, like, he was supposed to be the next Kobe.
Right.
Nowhere to be found on his own volition. Mm-hmm. But anyways, we have no news when it comes to the favorite teams of the hosts of the Minnesota Vikings and the Dallas Cowboys. Except, I guess the Dallas Cowboys, they're going to sign Dak Prescott to the franchise tag, or sign the franchise tag on him. And, yeah, they have up until, I forgot what date, later this year, where they can reach a long-term deal. Ultimately, I think there will be a long-term deal. I just think it's going to be it's going to come down to the wire. I don't know if they're going to actually let him play on the tag again this coming season. But yeah, you never know with Jerry Jones how any of this could go.
Right.
Your Washington football team, Thad. What's the news coming out of your Washington football team?
Supposedly, they're gonna have a new name. So they like set up a website, which is gonna like go through the process of the new name and take fan suggestions and all that other stuff. I'm at the point where just call them the football team. You're ready to change the name once.
Perfect.
Now you're at football team. I have no problem with them being called the Washington football team. It's great. No, you know what? I do love how they don't have a logo, and it's just the number on the helmets. I know you said you like it.
I said it since day one, and I'm not even a fan of the team. And people slandered me when I said, "Yo, why y'all just keep that?"
Yeah.
Like teams that all over the world don't have nicknames. It's just the location. And when it comes to soccer, they'll go football club. Or basketball, they'll say basketball club. Why not? Man, and like just like Alabama with their numbers on the helmets, you got a team like that in the NFL. That to me, that'd be perfect. And it's unique. We're the football team.
Yep.
So yeah, man, I think that should be good. Let's now get to our quick hitters. Fernando Tatis. Did you see that deal?
Yo, tell them what the deal was, and I'm gonna tell you what. There's something that's going on with that deal too, that a lot of people don't realize. But go ahead.
14-year extension, which by the way, he only played one full year in the majors. And they were just like, all right, we gotta get this dude. 14-year, $340 million extension. I believe it will kick in. It's not next year. Basically, he's going to be on the team until like 2036.
Yeah.
if he stays all 14 years. Now, what were you saying about the deal?
So he's not going to get all of that money. So when he was down in Dominican Republic, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. There's some company down there that deals with players and all that. And he signed a contract with them where any money that he gets a percentage. Well, they get a percentage out of that contract. So they're saying that over the life of that deal, they're going to make like, I think it's like 20 or 30 million off of that contract. And he can't get out of that. It's a lifetime thing.
I'm surprised he did something like that because, like, I mean, his pops was a baseball player. Unless he's not cool with his pops, I don't know. Like, you would think his connect with his pops would get him into the league if he's this good too.
Right.
I mean, his father, Fernando Tatis Sr., I mean, he was pretty good.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's real interesting. That's real interesting. Other news. Naomi Osaka won the Australian Open. Along the way, she defeated Serena Williams in the semifinals and then won in the finals. Naomi Osaka, is she the best women's tennis player in the world right now?
Right now, yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. She's really killed it. Only thing I could say is she hasn't won every single Grand Slam or whatever that she's been in. You know what I'm saying? So she still has a little bit to go to be on that Serena level, but she's there right now. She's the best in the world right now, but they have her at like number 3 or something like that.
Yeah. Tennis. I mean, I'm not going to act like I'm some tennis guru, but it is just a little weird that, you know, the players that tend to be dominating aren't always, they're not usually the top ranked players, which is so odd.
I think a lot of it has to do with, I know with this time around, it has to do with some point thing that they have because of COVID.
Mhm.
So they have some kind of, with the ranking, they have some kind of calculations in regards to COVID and how the points and everything roll out. But everybody knows she's number one in the world right now.
Also, there's some news coming out of Congress. There's a bill that's coming out, the name, image, and likeness bill that has that Congress is going to vote on.
Oh,
Yeah, where it's going to introduce compensation for players being able to return to college even if they're drafted by teams.
oh, like baseball?
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be eligible for like most sports now.
That'd be dope. Because, I mean, football is not going to happen. Besides, I mean, the whole getting drafted, coming back type thing. But, like, if it's NBA or baseball, soccer, you know what I'm saying? Those things have already been in place. Now you can actually get compensated for it. That'd be dope.
Yeah, it says it grants athletes the right to enter a sports draft and retain their eligibility as long as they do not receive compensation from a professional sports league. So very similar to, kind of similar to baseball, how baseball has it already. Mind you, it is a Republican-backed bill, which is a shocker to me.
Yeah. Considering they wanted to just give us $600. Which I haven't gotten, by the way. I have not gotten it. I got the first one at $1,200, but the $600, it didn't happen.
Well, we'll talk about it in our sports free zone coming up. Some things with the COVID relief bill coming up. Let's now get into our champ and chump of the week. Every week we celebrate those that do well and we criticize those that do not. Big Thad, who's your champ of the week?
Champ of the week, you know what? I'm going to give that to the Colts and Carson Wentz.
Baby want a champ.
They got a man that wanted to get out of Philly. They had a quarterback need. I think it'd be a good situation because the last time Carson Wentz had a good season was with Frank Wright.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And he's in Indy. I think it's going to be a match. I don't think he's going to be MVP quality, sorry. But I think it's a better situation for him than being with the Eagles.
My champ of the week has to go to the Washington Wizards.
Baby want a champ.
When you go on a 5-game winning streak, first 5-game winning streak since the 17-18 season,
Ooh.
you gotta give him the credit, man. So yeah, they are
They're playing defense.
playing defense. Jeez. Oh my goodness. So yeah, they are the champ of the week. Big Thad,
Yeah.
who's the champ of the week?
This one's a tough one, man. I'm going to go with the Eagles.
Cause you're a chump.
Why
know
are they
your
the
brother.
champ of the week?
I know your brother's going to hate me.
Oh,
for
yeah,
this one, but
He's an Eagles fan.
Nah, man, it's just they're just doing some weird things in that organization, man. Like I think most of the moves are looking like cat moves, but they're just making dumb decisions. I'm sorry. Lurie, I think it's Lurie, their GM. He's made some terrible decisions, man. Like Jalen Hurts. You know what I'm saying? When you had your franchise quarterback and you kind of basically forced a bad season out of Wentz.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then Deshaun Jackson. Who else?
Alshon Jeffrey is
Yes.
he got released also.
He got released. I think Jason Kelsey might be disappearing too. It's just they're just making some real weird decisions, man. And I gotta give them the chump.
Yeah, man. My chump of the week. I mean, you gotta give it to Draymond Green.
Because you're a chump.
I mean, when you get compared to salad dressing, and rightfully, I mean, it wasn't someone being wrong. They weren't wrong with what they said. Come on, yeah, that's my chump of the week.
What salad dressing is he though?
Ooh. But I have to compare him to a salad dressing. Balsamic vinegar. I don't know. I like balsamic vinegar. So he's still good. Like, it's just, you're just not going to eat balsamic vinegar on everything. Like, it really can't go on everything.
Nah.
Yeah, but that,
I was gonna say blue cheese.
Oh, blue cheese.
Because I mean, who wants to really eat blue cheese on salad? But you could definitely put it with wings, like ranch. You know what I'm saying? But he's blue cheese to me.
Oh man, that'll wrap it up here for our sports free zone. For our Champ and Chump of the week. Let's now get into our sports free zone. We take a break from sports, talk about what's happening in pop culture. The winter storm in Texas. Some news came out of that. Ted Cruz, the senator, or one of the senators from Texas, took a trip to Cancun with his family while the state was dealing with a blizzard. Massive snowstorm, snowmageddon. A lot of Texas residents lost power. And he decided to go to Cancun. He was spotted on an airplane. Photos were taken, put all over social media. And then he ended up coming back by himself. And then spoke to the media and said, my family, they were cold and we didn't have power. My daughter said, well, Dad, we don't have school. Can we go to Cancun? And as a loving father, if you have the capability of doing it, like, why wouldn't you?
Right.
Like, why wouldn't you? But when I got on the plane, I realized something ain't right here. And yes, he only came back because he got caught, man. Only came back because he got caught. He left his dog Snowflake at the house, his poodle Snowflake at the house with no electricity. You know how white people get when it comes to animals. Oh my gosh, you left the poodle with no heat? Oh my goodness.
Left the dog in the car in the cold.
And then he tried to do some PR, some damage control, try to give out some cases of water and food to people. And someone spotted something in the photos. They say, how is it if he's at a food drive, when you look at the photos and you look at the reflections off of the windows and the cars, there's no one else there. It's like it's just the photographers and Ted Cruz. Oh. And they were like, how are you, if you're at this big food distribution line, why is it when he gives the food to people, there's no line? You don't see a line. You just see a car the whole time.
Wow.
So someone said they think it was staged. So
yeah, I heard somebody that was involved with the text messages between like them. It was like a group message between like his wife and like friends. They gave the text messages off to the press, and it was like, yo, y'all should come with us. Come to Cancun with us.
Let me say
and
this. Let me say this. White people cannot be trusted. I'm sorry. How are you friends with Ted Cruz And then when this happens, you put the text messages out there to the media.
They thought they were getting some money, man.
To the media.
But then when they say, keep me anonymous, 'cause I don't want them to know.
Oh my goodness. Like this is ridiculous. Let's now get to Joe Biden. Joe Biden, a little over a month in office. So a little over 30 days in office. Just on the surface, from what you know, how's the first 30 days with a President Biden?
Nothing I didn't not expect. You know what I'm saying? You know, with the changing of a lot of stuff that Trump did, you know, being involved in what's going on in Texas. So nothing new, nothing exciting to me. You know, what about yourself?
I mean, I'm not shocked that things are taking a little time. Like it is 30 days. Right. I did mention though that I'm not waiting until the next election to be like, you know, that I don't have to wait 4 years to figure out if he is doing well. I mean, we can find out by the midterm elections how things are going. I mean, we essentially, when I say we, the country, or Democrats essentially have power of the Senate for a lot of things because of the split, and then obviously Kamala Harris being the tiebreaker for things. Now, you got to get the budget in order first before you could get that stimulus plan out. And Friday, I believe, Congress votes on the $1.9 trillion COVID relief, which is going to help. There's going to be another stimulus. There's also going to be added unemployment benefits, child care benefits, and a myriad of other things for small businesses, protections for small businesses and assistance for small businesses, people who should have been getting the SBA loans from the jump,
right,
who will be getting assistance. So that's good, but we still have the issue of student loan debt.
Yeah.
And it's been a problem way before Biden got here, but he's here now.
Yeah.
He's had some promises. He's made some promises. Right. And hopefully they back it up. We spoke about this a few weeks ago where we said we believe student loans should be forgiven, especially when you look at the predatory interest rates that these lenders were able to do.
Right.
And I think at some point you just have to almost wipe the slate clean and then put parameters. And yes, some people are going to benefit and some people aren't. Like people who paid off their student loans already. Yeah, they probably won't get anything back. But I'm also tired of that group saying, you know, if I can do it, you can do it too. Especially when you look at the demographics of who is really being hammered by student loan debt are black and brown people who are giving worse interest rates, who are giving less money when it comes to jobs, which means it takes them longer to pay it, which means interest is still going up compared to white counterparts who are doing the exact same thing. So there's a racial element to this. So yeah, I believe that there should be student loan forgiveness. Now, how much? Biden said he's willing to forgive $10,000, up to $10,000. People are asking, look, yeah, I go up it up to 50. Some people are even asking upping it up to $100,000. You know, forgive that. What do you think is a good number for this country to forgive when it comes to student loan debt?
I would say about 20 to 25,000. I would think. I mean, those that are asking for like $100,000 are those doctors and stuff like that. Like, think about it. You're a doctor and you're making more money than I am.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But you want, I mean, if you got the $100 grand, that means mine is going to be completely wiped out from it, which I'm cool with, of course, but you can't do that for everybody, you know? So I think the average is like 30 to 50 that everybody has, I think.
I think 50 is a good number. Obviously, it wouldn't cover, like you said, those who go to med school, get their doctorates, even some people with masters. Right. Now, there are already programs where if like people within the medical field, social services, even law enforcement,
right,
that if they then work within law enforcement or nonprofits or government agencies, after 10 years, their loans get forgiven.
Right.
I think those people who are already working in those entities, I think those are the people that should get their loans fully forgiven.
Right. Just wipe it out.
Yeah. Just be like, look, you were planning on doing it. Let's just do it. Right. All right. You worked 5 years already there. Let's not wait another 5 years to forgive it. Let's do it now.
Right.
I've spoken to an economist, and they said it looks like there is enough evidence to say that loan forgiveness will help the economy.
I mean, it's not rocket science.
Explain why it's not rocket science just for those listening.
Because if you're paying student loans, that's money that's coming out of your pocket. If you don't have to pay those loans, you now have more money to stimulate the economy.
and what are ways you can stimulate the economy, Thad? Let the viewers know that.
Hey, spend money on anything. Don't spend it on no rims, though. You know what I'm saying? Don't spend it on no rims. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, you're buying goods and services. You know what I'm saying? That stimulates the economy. So if you have more money because you're spending less, you can spend on the economy and boom, economy grows even higher.
I know one of the big things, a lot of people who are seeking the loan forgiveness are also seeking homes. And that is
right, of course.
And that is the number one thing. If you buy homes, it really boosts the economy. Yep. Buying cars. You know, if you had to pay $500 a month for student loans and now you don't, well, you know what? I could get that car that I've been waiting on. Mm-hmm. I can now get a car for the same $500 that I was paying for a month.
Right.
But it helps the economy.
Exactly.
Instead of going to a private lender. Also, I think something that we need to also discuss on topic of the student loan forgiveness, I believe there needs to be some real government like policies to mandate what student lenders could do.
Right.
Because I'm not saying, like, look, people do need, I don't think tuition is going to drop. So people do need loans, but I think there needs to be better ways, better interest rates. Maybe look, I know they got to make money, but some of these interest rates, people are paying like 30, 40%. like that's where it's criminal. So I think there just needs to be better mandates on these student lenders. So then you can make the whole process better, more accessible, more transparent for borrowers. And, you know, also, while we're here, tuition also something needs to be done with tuition. Like, it's getting out of hand. But, yeah, man, I think those are things that need to happen. Bobby Shmurder.
He out?
Yeah.
Wow. he got out early, didn't he?
He got out. He's been in there for 7 years. Got out.
It's been 7 years?
Yeah.
It seemed like it. That's crazy.
Almost 7 years, like 6. Like, because he got arrested, I think 2015. I don't even think it was or it could have been 14, but it was the summer of 14 when Hot Niggas came out, and the rest of the GS9 crew. Yeah, man. So he came out to his mother. Mother made a 50-pound pot of oxtail.
Word.
What would you do if you? Look, when this pandemic is over, I think we do need to have like a big cookout with oxtail.
I mean, I'm cool with oil down or some curry chicken. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah,
like if my mom, like I came out of prison and my mom had a big pot of oxtail, I would kind of be disappointed.
Why?
Because I would have rather add oil down. You're the fourth greatest Grenadian.
Yeah.
And you're not even feeling the national dish?
I mean,
come on, man.
I prefer pilau. And I know that's disputed if Palau's even Grenadian or Trinidadian. It's Grenadian.
Right.
You know, I claim that. Oil down, it's not that I don't like it. It's just not like there's so many other more dishes that I would before I even get to that. But
I got you.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. It's just it's very heavy. Very
only certain people can make oil down.
That too.
You know what I'm saying? Like I've had oil down here, and it wasn't as good as somebody doing it back home. Like, I don't know why. It just, I don't know if it's just being back home and having it in a big ass pot on the beach. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what it is. Having oil down at a house here in the U.S. is not really that good.
Daft Punk. Y'all told me they split. My understanding is they just retired. Which one is it, Thad?
Well, see, this thing is, I've seen split after 28 years. But then again, it could just be a retirement thing too. And I mean, if you retire, they split. You're done.
If you retire, you split. Oh man. Semantics, I guess that's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, semantics.
Oh jeez. A split to me means y'all beefing somehow.
Nah.
And retirement means y'all just not making any more music.
No. I mean, it's a group. You know what I'm saying? If one decides they want to retire, the other one got to retire.
Now,
no more.
What's your favorite Daft Punk song?
I'm going to say One More Time.
That is
they have a lot more like stuff that I like, but I just can't think of the name right now. So I'm going to just say One More Time because it's so iconic. People have used it over and over again.
Yeah. And
plus the visuals of the music video is dope too.
I do like that song. I'm trying to think what's the other song that I like from Daft Punk. I know on their last album, or the one that I don't even know if there was, what was their last album, like 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay, then yes, Random Access Memories.
Oh yeah.
I do like that album. I like Lose Yourself to Dance.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Obviously, Get Lucky. Yeah, it was very poppy, but it was good.
Yeah.
Very, very, very good song.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, they will be missed. Meek Mill in the news again. Did you hear what Meek Mill did?
Nah, what did he do this time?
Meek Mill. Said earlier this month, lyrics of an unreleased Meek Mill song was leaked. Apparently, the song was from last year. Well, there was a line. And here's the line. Quote, "This B I'm effing always tell me that she love me, but she ain't ever show me. Yeah, and if I ever lack, I'm going out with my chopper. It'd be another Kobe."
Come on, bro. You know what?
Halfway, take a few steps back.
I think I heard the part of that song where those lyrics came, but it seemed so whack to me. It didn't click at all. Like me and Meek, not me and Meek. I think Meek is a little whack to me. There's like maybe one or two songs, everybody loves to make some hype. But that's
Dreams a
about it.
Nightmare. Dreams a Nightmare.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And
the Black People's Don't Stop Believing.
Right.
Just like oh man, yeah, look, the line was trash. It's trash.
Right, straight trash.
It's just not a good line. It rhymes. I understand what he's saying, but just because you understand doesn't mean the line is good.
Right.
Now a lot of people
even the whole flow of it was just weird to me too.
Yes, he was talking about being with a woman, and then all of a sudden talking about if I get into a gunfight and I have my chopper, I'm going out with that, and saying that if he has to die like Kobe, he'll do it. Now, obviously, Kobe Bryant died just over a year ago in a helicopter crash. Vanessa Bryant
didn't have nothing to do with guns.
Yeah, Vanessa Bryant spoke out against Meek Mill. She's very classy with what she said. She said, "I'm not familiar with your work," but that was pretty distasteful. when she said, "I'm not familiar with your work," I'm like, "Ooh," she tried to say, "I don't even know who you are."
Right. Well, you know what? Meek probably, knowing him, he's from Philly. Kobe is Philly God. You know what I'm saying? He thought he could get away with it because Philly folks would do some stupid stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But it didn't work. It was terrible.
Yeah, the bar was just trash. It was a trash bar. Now, at the same time, hip hop is very irreverent. It's been irreverent. It's based on irreverency. Like the whole, and I'm talking about from the beginning of hip hop. Like it was against traditional music. Right. People are known for rapping about things and using their poetry and their lyrics. Sometimes it's going to be crude. It's going to be cringy. I do believe, though, there were a lot of people who are really upset that it was Kobe Bryant that he used. And look, don't get me wrong. Kobe Bryant's one of the greatest NBA players of all time. His death was tragic. We all know that. But if he had used the name of another NBA player that died tragically, it would have just been like, oh, okay. Even around here, we grew up in the era with Len Bias. We know the story of Len Bias. Most sports fans know the story of Len Bias. If someone made a line about cocaine and Len Bias, I would not be upset. Now, I know people who would be upset because we live in the area. We know people who are in close relations with him. I know people who know his family. I understand that. They would. But me personally, as a hip hop fan, if I heard that, I'd be like, okay. And if the bar is good, then it's good. I'll be like, that was a good line. But if it's not good, I'm gonna say it's not good.
You know what I'm saying? It'll be a little cringy. It'll be like, oh man, too soon. But it's still a high bar. It's not as bad as Meek. That was just trash.
Yeah, Meek is just trash. It was just trash. It was. Look.
You wanted to say Meek is trash. I know you want to.
No, so hold on. Meek is Meek is a very interesting character when it comes to hip hop. He's had these like ebbs and flows of, oh, he's good. Oh, he's trash. Oh, like we trying to get him out of jail because he's in there, wrongfully.
Right.
Oh, you're out of jail. Great, cool. You're this activist now, and it's like, but now you're doing dumb stuff like this, and it's not just this. Just a few weeks ago, he was clowning kids for asking him for money when they saw him, and they were like, "Yo, you can give more," and he's like, "What do you mean I could give more?" Like, gave him a $20 bill. And yes, it's a little kid. It was little kids. These weren't like teenagers,
right?
They were like, yo, Meek. And he's like, nah, man. Like, I'm not giving you any more money. Like, like.
And you put it on your Instagram.
Exactly.
Like,
you put it out there.
Yeah, you put it out there to make everybody like, oh, look what I'm doing for the kids. And then you don't give them nothing. You gave them what a regular person would give them.
Yeah. Pulled a Virgil Abloh.
Perfect.
You know, talking about, yeah, my $20. Yeah, here you go. And then you put it out there. And then just other things like on social media, he's been just wilding about, I don't think conspiracy theories, but like just different things that he has been upsetting fans with. And it's just like, I saw something yesterday where someone said, yo, why can't we just put this man back in jail? Like, like it's gotten to that point for some fans. They're kind of like, yo, we caked for you to get you out because of the injustices of the you know, legal system. And it's like, you know what? And you're now shaming us right now. So some people are just upset with Meek Mill and they want to see him see his demise coming up soon. That'll wrap it up here for our sports free zone. Let's now get to part 4 and the final part of our Black History in Sports. We're going to talk about some prominent college coaches. Let's start with Clarence Big House Gaines. Remember, you're familiar with Clarence Big House Gaines, Thad?
No, I don't think I am.
He is coached Winston-Salem State for 47 years. He also was one of the winningest college head coaches. Before graduating, he became a coach. He was an outstanding collegiate football player at Morgan State. That's why they call him Big House. I'm trying to get to how many wins. Oh, NCAA championship in 1967. I believe Division II, but it was a big deal because still black colleges could not really compete for national titles on the D1 level. But 1967 was the national champion. CIAA champion 1953, 57, 60, 61, 63, 66, 70, and 77. NCAA Division II College Coach of the Year 1967. Coach of the Year of the CIAA for many years. In the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame. And I'm trying to get through some notable. I know he coached some notable players. One of them being Earl the Pearl Monroe.
Nice.
Yes. Also, Stephen A. Smith.
Oh.
Yeah, Stephen A. Smith got recruited there and played for a little bit before he had an injury. Cleo Hill, the first African-American from a HBCU to be drafted in the first round of the NBA in 1961. He also coached him. So yeah, man, Clarence Big House Gaines, he did pass away in 2005 at the age of 81. And like I said, coached 47 years, excuse me. Here's his record, Thad.
Okay.
828 wins, 447 losses.
Wow.
Nearly a 2-to-1 win ratio.
Yeah.
47-year career. Basically 20 victories a year.
That's pretty good.
Almost 20 victories a year for Clarence Big House Gaines. Let's also get to Eddie Robinson. Familiar with Eddie Robinson, Thad?
Oh, yes, sir.
Yep, yeah. Longtime head coach of Grambling State University. He also coached the football team from 1941 to 1997. Also coached the basketball team from 43 to 56. With a 408 wins, 165 losses, and 15 ties. With 9-6 in bowl games. When it comes to championships, the Black College National Championship, 9-time champion and 17 SWAC titles.
Nice.
Coached some notable players. Doug Williams, who went on to then become the first black quarterback to end up winning the Super Bowl. Also, I had the list here. Whew, where was that list? Here we go. Willie Brown, I believe he coached too. I'm going to look that up real quick. Yep. Coach Willie Brown, who's in the Hall of Fame. Buck Buchanan and Charlie Joyner. All four of those guys made it to the Hall of Fame. The Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Yep.
I mentioned Doug Williams, Gary Big Hands Johnson, Buck Buchanan, and Tank Younger are in the College Football Hall of Fame. Yeah, man. And when he retired, I believe he was the winningest head coach in all of college football history on any level.
Wow.
And now let's talk about Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders is the head coach at Jackson State University. Deion Sanders is a Pro Football Hall of Famer, multiple Super Bowl champion, the best cornerback in NFL history.
Facts.
One of the best football players in NFL history.
Yeah.
One of the best athletes in sports history.
Yeah. He was a pretty good baseball player, too.
Pretty good baseball player. He is now the head coach at Jackson State University. They started their season last week. Did you know that?
Yeah, yeah.
Got a win over a IHBCU.
Mm-hmm.
Beat them pretty bad.
I think they put up 50 on them.
Yep. Also, since Deion's been there, they've been recruiting some 5 stars, 4 stars.
They've been taking a lot of kids away from big-time programs.
Mm-hmm. How long does Deion need to stay there to start? First, we kind of spoke about this last week, about HBCU sports, athletics. I always thought that basketball would be the easiest sport to then get attention on HBCU athletics, to then boost HBCU athletics, to then have them competing, not just in their conferences, but competing against Power 5 conferences.
The national scale. Yeah.
Exactly.
Basketball is the easiest.
I think it's the easiest, of course, but if
'Cause-
Deion Sanders... Actually, go ahead. I'm going to let you finish up.
Because I was going to say, because 1 or 2 4 or 5 star basketball players can completely turn a team around, like with the quickness. But football, I think it takes a couple years.
Mm-hmm.
Only because, like Deion, the team that he has there right now, it's not all his players.
Yeah,
it's not all his recruits. You know what I'm saying? So I think at the 4-year, the 4-year mark is when we could actually start to see if what he's doing is going to change the landscape for HBCUs.
Yeah, I hope so. And I hope he stays. I hope he stays more. I hope he's one of these coaches that stay there for 15 plus years. Because if Deion Sanders is there, he's going to be able to recruit. Not only that, you're going to get guys who are going to say, look, if Deion's able to do it, I can do it too down there.
Right.
I could sacrifice the big money at a Power 5 school. I could go down there and be the man on an HBCU campus. Deion Sanders is the man in Jackson, Mississippi right now.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. But you know what? It could probably happen sooner. Well, the reason why I say the 4-year mark, because usually the 4-year mark is when the whole team, especially football-wise, the whole team is your recruits.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say the 4-year mark, where the 4-year mark could be the start of the baseline of the changes that could be made, or the changes that should be made and could happen. But it could possibly happen happen sooner if they start playing these Power 5 teams. Like, you know how they usually do where the Power 5 would have one of these teams come in and play a tune-up game and whatnot.
Yeah.
A couple of those, and they come out winning or making a great game out of it, could definitely probably boost that move a little bit quicker.
Perfect.
Yeah, man. I believe so. And like I said, if Deion starts getting success there, I think other guys are going to be more willing to go down to the SWAC and the MEAC and other conferences that have HBCUs and say, hey, I want to do what Deion's doing. Let's do that here.
Right.
And start getting the great talent back into HBCUs. So yeah, man, I think that is for sure the goal, and I think it could happen. I think it definitely could happen. Let's now wrap up the show. Big Thad, before we get out of here, man, I want to thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you. You know how it goes.
Got any shout outs before we get out of here?
You know what? Shout out to our cousins, man. You know, we don't. The past couple weeks has been a little bit dry in our group text messages, and we haven't had like a FaceTime meeting in a while.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So shout out to our cousins. Love y'all. Hope everybody's safe. All of our friends, close friends. We just hope y'all are safe and everything. And make sure you tell your friends about the podcast. You know what I'm saying? We got the podcast. We got the YouTube live. You know, let's get some interaction. Maybe even go to Twitch. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, let's see what happens, man. But it happens with our friends and family, man. You know, getting the things out. So, shout out to our friends and family.
Yep. Shout out to OSS 980, Harold D, Jeff, Aaron.
Look, I don't even know if you say shout out to Harold.
Shout out to Soggy Nachos, Shut Your Face, 4th and 13, What You Expect podcast. Shout out to also our businesses, all those our listeners that support us. Just want to remind you all to subscribe to the podcast where podcasts are available, and that includes Anchor, Apple, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Anything else before we get out of here, Big Thad?
No, man. Just have a good rest of the week. You know, shine your light. You know what I'm saying? Have a great. Don't let this COVID hold you down, but be safe.
Yep. Until next time, everyone. Sports Reality. Peace.
Peace.